The sun was setting over Genoa City, casting long shadows over the streets. A calm evening was about to turn into something much more intense. Over the next 3 weeks, the lives of several key players on The Young and the Restless would be marked by turmoil, heartbreak, and shocking twists. Matt Clark had always been a man with a hidden agenda, and his latest plot was one that would test the limits of the Newman family. Matt had a history of manipulating people, and now he set his sights on Nick Newman. Nick had been through a lot in recent years, but this new challenge would push him to the edge. Matt's intention was clear. He wanted to drive Nick into the deepest pit of addiction, a place from which he might never recover. But Nick wasn't about to go down without a fight. As Matt worked behind the scenes, Adam Newman was frantically trying to figure out how to save his brother. The tension between them had always been palpable, but family loyalty and the bond of brotherhood would be tested in the most dangerous of ways. Adam knew that if Matt succeeded in his twisted scheme, it could destroy Nick for good. Adam's only option was to intervene fast. Chelsea Lawson, ever the support system for Adam, stepped in to help. She had seen her fair share of chaos and turmoil in her life, and she was no stranger to fighting for the ones she loved. But this time, it was going to take more than just love and loyalty. Adam would need more than just his own skills to save his brother. He would need Chelsea's resourcefulness and her unwavering support to navigate the tricky road ahead. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman found herself dragged into the mess. Sharon had been through her own struggles, and while she had found some peace in her life, she couldn't ignore the call to help Adam and Nick. She had a history with both brothers, and it seemed fate was once again pulling her into their lives in the most unpredictable of ways. Sharon would soon find herself on a plane to Las Vegas, following a trail that could either lead to salvation or disaster. While the Newman brothers and Sharon were racing against time to deal with the chaos in Vegas, there were other forces at work in Genoa City. Diane Jenkins Abbott had never been one to shy away from confrontation, and she was ready to make her move. Her feud with Jack Abbott had reached a boiling point, and with Victor Newman's help, she saw an opportunity to strike. The tension between Diane and Jack had been brewing for months, but now it was about to reach new heights. Victor Newman had always been a man of power and influence, but this time his involvement would come with a heavy price. Diane's betrayal with Victor's assistance would leave Jack reeling emotionally and physically. Jack had always been a man of integrity, and the weight of this betrayal would be unlike anything he had ever experienced. Diane's actions would push Jack to his breaking point, and it was unclear whether he could recover from the devastation she caused. Amidst all the chaos, Sally Spectra found herself facing a situation she never anticipated. The pregnancy test she had taken was weighing heavily on her mind. The results would change everything for her, for better or worse. But Sally wasn't alone in her nerves. She confided in Audra Charles, who had been a steady presence in her life. Audra supported Sally through every step of the process, offering comfort and guidance as they both waited for the results. The uncertainty surrounding Sally's pregnancy would become a focal point in her relationship with Billy Abbott. Sally had always known that Billy was a man of action, a man who faced life head-on, but this new development in her life would challenge their relationship in ways they hadn't anticipated. Would Billy stand by her side, or would this new revelation tear them apart? As the week of April 13-17 progressed, the drama intensified. The people of Genoa City had no idea what was in store for them, but the chaos would soon reach a fever pitch. Matt Clark was just getting started, and the damage he would cause was only beginning to unfold. In Las Vegas, Sharon, Adam, and Chelsea were racing against the clock, and they would soon find themselves in a dangerous situation. But Vegas wasn't the only place where danger loomed. Back in Genoa City, Patty Williams, a woman with a long history of causing trouble, saw an opportunity in the escalating tension between Jack and Diane. Patty had always been a woman who thrived on chaos, and she was more than willing to add fuel to the fire. Patty's scheming would bring even more complications to Jack and Diane's already fraught relationship, but Patty wasn't content with just stirring the pot. She had bigger plans that could destroy the fragile balance of power in Genoa City. If Jack and Diane couldn't find a way to work through their issues, Patty's meddling could tip the scales in ways they never saw coming. Meanwhile, in the world of family drama, fans were eagerly awaiting news about Malcolm Winter's bone marrow donor match. The mystery surrounding the donor had kept everyone on edge, and the truth was about to come to light in a way that no one could have anticipated. Could it be Kane Ashby, the man who had always been a fixture in Lily Winter's life? If the match was confirmed, it would send shockwaves through the family, leaving Lily with a sense of gratitude and relief that she never thought possible. But not everything was as it seemed. The tension between the Newman brothers continued to escalate and the stakes were higher than ever. In Vegas, Sharon, Noah, and Sienna Bacall found themselves in a dangerous situation as they attempted to rescue Nick from the grip of addiction. The pressure was mounting, and soon, the chaos in Vegas would come to a head. In the week of April 2024, more secrets would be revealed, and more lives would be altered forever. The tension between Jack and Diane would reach new heights, and Patty's influence would only grow stronger. But it was the revelation about Malcolm Winter's bone marrow donor that would rock the Winters family to its core. Could Kane Ashby truly be the match that everyone had been waiting for? The answer would come soon enough, but not without consequences. As the days went on, the drama continued to unfold in unexpected ways. The explosion hinted at in the spoilers was now drawing near, and the stakes were higher than ever. Would Matt Clark be responsible for the blast, or would someone else be behind it all, using the chaos to their advantage? One thing was certain, nothing in Jenga City would ever be the same again. As the chaos escalated, the week of April 2024 revealed even more layers of intrigue, betrayal, and deep-rooted secrets. The walls were closing in for the residents of Jenga City, and every move, every conversation, every glance seemed to hold more weight than ever before. In the midst of the growing tension, Sharon Newman found herself grappling with a deep sense of foreboding. She had always been a woman of empathy and insight, but now her intuition was telling her something was off. Her involvement in Nick's rescue mission had already put her in a precarious position, but as the days went by, she felt the weight of their situation growing heavier. The dangers that had seemed far off in Vegas were now creeping into her own world, and Sharon couldn't help but wonder if she could handle what was to come. Noah Newman, her son, had always been a beacon of hope for her. He was the one who kept her grounded, the one who reminded her of the love that still existed in their fractured family. But in this moment, Noah found himself caught in the whirlwind of the rescue attempt. Alongside Sienna Bacall, who had a history with both Nick and Sharon, Noah would find himself in deeper trouble than he could have ever imagined. It seemed that no matter how hard they tried to keep the mission focused, the ripple effects of their choices were far-reaching. Back in Jenga City, the drama surrounding Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott was nearing a boiling point. Diane's betrayal had already left Jack reeling, but the full scope of her actions was yet to be revealed. Diane, always calculating and ruthless, had formed an alliance with Victor Newman, a man known for his ability to manipulate situations to his advantage. The impact of their combined efforts was far more devastating than anyone could have anticipated. Victor, who had always been a master of playing the long game, had no intention of stopping with Jack's emotional devastation. He was playing a much bigger game, one that involved shaping the future of Jenga City itself. But as much as he wanted control, Victor wasn't always able to predict how his moves would affect those closest to him. The fallout from his collaboration with Diane was about to have consequences that no one in Jenga City could escape. Amidst this drama, Patty Williams' manipulation of Jack and Diane's fragile relationship reached a fever pitch. Patty, a woman with a deep understanding of how to exploit weaknesses, found allies who helped her further her agenda. With the tension between Jack and Diane intensifying, Patty made sure to keep herself in the center of the chaos, quietly pulling the strings while everyone else fought for control. As the situation spiraled out of control, it was clear that Patty had an unshakable hold on the situation. But what Patty didn't know was that her plans were about to collide with those of others, including Matt Clark, whose hold on Nick was becoming more dangerous by the day. Nick's descent into addiction had reached a point of no return, and his fragile state was playing into Matt's hands. However, what Matt had underestimated was the depth of Adam's resolve. Adam had never been a man to back down from a challenge, and he was prepared to do whatever it took to save his brother. But in doing so, Adam found himself standing at the edge of a precipice, where the risk of losing everything became a terrifying reality. As the week of April 2024 unfolded, a major twist was about to take place, one that would rock the lives of the Winters family forever. The bone marrow match that had been shrouded in mystery was finally revealed. Kane Ashby, the man who had always been at the heart of the Winters family, was indeed the match. The news hit Lily Winters hard, her emotions caught between gratitude and disbelief. For years, she had been struggling with the idea of saving Malcolm, but now the answer was right in front of her. Kane's selflessness was a gift, and Lily was filled with a sense of overwhelming gratitude for the man who had always been there for her, even when the world seemed to crumble around them. But even as joy and relief spread throughout the Winters family, the repercussions of Kane's involvement were not lost on others. The connection between Kane and Lily had always been complicated, full of love, history, and unspoken truths. This new revelation would open old wounds, forcing both Kane and Lily to confront the past in ways they hadn't expected. In Las Vegas, the stakes had never been higher. Sharon, Adam, and Chelsea had managed to get closer to Nick, but danger was closing in fast. Sharon, Noah, and Sienna found themselves caught in the crossfire of Matt's twisted game, and the situation quickly turned into a race for survival. It became clear that someone wasn't going to make it out of the situation alive. The explosion that had been hinted at was finally coming to fruition, and all the players were in the line of fire. But in the final moments of the chaos, it wasn't just Matt Clark who was responsible for the explosion. Someone else had orchestrated the event from behind the scenes, using the distraction to further their own agenda. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Sharon found herself in a moment of shocking realization. Matt's plan had been only a small piece of a much larger scheme. Back in Jenga City, Billy Abbott found himself at a crossroads in his relationship with Sally Spectra. Sally's pregnancy had thrown everything into question, and Billy's emotions were torn between excitement and fear. He had always been a man who acted from the heart, but now, with the prospect of fatherhood hanging over him, Billy was forced to take a hard look at his future. Sally, too, was dealing with her own internal conflict. As she waited for the results of her pregnancy test, she struggled to reconcile her feelings for Billy with the uncertainties of the future. Would their relationship survive the pressure of impending parenthood, or would this be the end of the road for them? As the week of April 27, May 1 loomed on the horizon, the drama reached its boiling point. The explosion in Las Vegas had been just the beginning. The fallout from that event would change the lives of everyone involved. Sharon, Adam, Chelsea, Noah, and Sienna had narrowly escaped death, but their lives would never be the same. Matt Clark's manipulation had come at a cost, and the repercussions of his actions would be felt far and wide. Back in Jenga City, Billy and Sally's conversation about their future took on new urgency. The question of whether or not Sally was truly pregnant would shape their next steps, and whether an engagement or wedding was in the cards was a question that weighed heavily on both of their minds. The winds of change were blowing through Jenga City, and nothing would ever be the same again. If you enjoy Y&R spoilers, updates, and daily drama, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.